Hey, oi, focus. Hey, how's it going? So, yes, another stretching video. And this one is using just the wall behind me because I like to do my stretches in the evening sometimes. And the other evening I was doing my stretches and then I just did one up against the wall and thought, wow, this is actually really useful, really good. Everyone can do it at whatever flexibility level they are. And remember, flexibility is not for just super flexible yogis, but it's for everybody, and your goal doesn't have to necessarily be to be like a super yogi at some stage in your life. It's all about just lengthening tight muscles you have, preventing injury if you're doing sports or fitness, and looking after your body, having a healthy posture and being comfortable with daily life. And that's why flexibility and daily stretching is so important. So these stretches are just using the wall behind me. Let's get to them. Okay, so here we are up against the wall. Let's start with the lower body and the hamstrings. First of all, sit as close to the wall as you can, then lay down, lift your legs up, and place both legs up. So you're aiming to get your hips as close to the wall as possible. We're going to start with a simple hamstring stretch. For this one, I've got tight hamstrings, so I feel this stretch already. If you need to get closer to the wall, then come back out of it, sit closer, and lift back up. Okay, obviously this one can be done with both legs or with just one leg as you relax this one and lengthen this one. In this position, it's very important what you're doing in your hips. Try to push your hips down into the floor. Don't get this arch in here because that's going to release the tension from the hamstrings. You need to anteriorly tilt your hips to get the hamstring stretch. Your upper body can relax. Once you're here, relax your legs, feel the stretch in the hamstrings and just give into the wall. We're going to stay in these stretches for about 20-30 seconds each, and you can do 2 or 3 sets of them depending on if you find you find like a really tight area, then you can stay there a bit longer or do more sets. If you find some areas are easy, you don't feel them stretching very much, then you can just move on to the next one. From here, let's move into the second stretch, into the groin or adductor stretch. Be really gentle with this one and open your legs out wide and see where you are. The same applies in your hips, pushing your bum into the floor and just slowly, bit by bit, see how wide your feet can go, keeping the same kind of keeping your feet parallel rather than tilting outwards or inwards, and making sure your adductors are the ones that are stretching. If you find it's really excruciating, then just come in a little bit, but you do want to try to get to a point where you've taken deep breaths and you're relaxing and you feel the tension ease off in those adductors. This is a really tight area for me. I've got very short adductors and I've been doing this and it's been massively helping. And even for my lower back, sometimes you find that your hamstrings and adductors are really tight and then it triggers into a lower back tightness as well. So make sure you've got your lower back flat into the floor and you feel the adductor stretch. If it loosens off in the next set, you can just take it down a little bit lower. And again, you can shift yourself forwards to the wall or a little bit further back. Let's move on into stretch number 3. Push yourself a little bit further away from the wall this time, just a little bit, and we're going to go into what is just your deep squat position. Imagine you're in your squat position on the squat rack. Bring your feet down, slightly outturn your feet, keep your knees out wide. I thought Pickle would make an entrance into this video. Do you want to go out? You're right there. Or you want to come stretch with me? We'll see. Anyway, okay, so in this one, imagine you are in your squat position. Keep your heels down on the wall and your back flat. So pull in your stomach and tilt the hips again. So you've got that flat, square hips. Relax your upper body, and it might take a while to feel this stretch. If you need to sit a bit further in again, then you can, because this is all personal to you and your current flexibility level. I find sometimes going into a deep squat is a little bit tough, so this is a great way just to ease into those muscles in your groin, your hamstrings, your glutes and hips. Okay, stretch 3 done. Let's move on into stretch 4. Now you do need to get a little bit further away, so much so that you've got 90 degrees at the knee. Okay, so feet on the wall, parallel to the floor with the lower leg, 90 degrees at the knee, and then this upper leg is adjacent to the floor. Now bring this lower leg above the knee into this hip stretch. What's really important again is not lifting your bum up off the floor, but dropping your hips down, flattening the back, and now we've got this big stretch on the glutes and the hips. And again, just sink into that one. Try not to hold any tension, try not to tense the muscles, try to just give in. This is obviously the same as if we were just through holding your leg like that, but sometimes doing this, if you're tight like I am, you find you're tensing and holding this, whereas using the wall is just a great asset to relax and just use the wall as a position. And obviously you'd move on into the other leg as well. You can try, just move this knee and see where the is it loose, is it moving freely, or is it really rigid? I can feel that stretch in the glutes, but make sure you're pushing those hips down into the floor at the same time. Okay, next one more for lower body. And with this one, we're going to need a cushion, or well, it's optional really. Make sure that you've got a cushion quite close to the wall, depending on how flexible you are. Bring your knee onto the cushion, tuck your toes under, onto the wall, and step one leg out up in front here. Slowly come up, because you're going to feel a big stretch on your hips and quads. From here, remember what I was saying about the hips. You don't want to be in a big tilted. Now we want to really tilt those hips under and tuck that tailbone under. That's an anterior tilt, this is a posterior tilt. What you do want to do is tuck under that tailbone and feel that stretch across your hip flexors and quads, and drop forwards and drop backwards, and see how that stretch comes onto the front of the thigh. And again, you want to take deep breaths, put it in your stomach, and let that ease off. Okay, and obviously switching into both legs. Okay, just 2 more to go. Let's move on into upper body. I think I'm marking the wall. Sarah's going to be so pissed off with me. Looks like I need to paint the wall again. Anyway, priority is your body. Let's move on into this thoracic spine opener. Bring your hands onto the wall, make sure your hands are clean. And from here, on your knees, drop your chest down, take a deep breath and exhale, leave your hands up high, feel that stretch in your lats, in your spine. Think about elevating your chest and getting that big shape through the spine and opening up. We spend so much of our time in a flexed position with rounded shoulders. This one will open it all up. Okay, next one, just to carry on that story of opening up the chest, is a chest stretch. So place one hand about shoulder height and open it up. Bring your shoulder towards the wall and look the opposite way. Drop your shoulders down and feel the stretch across the front of the shoulders and across the pecs. This can be done also with your hand up high, and you'll feel the stretch slightly different. Obviously both sides. Different hand placements, you'll feel different stretches across the pecs. So that's it guys, that's my stretches up against the wall. Make sure you give it a go, and like I said, go for 20-30 seconds on each, maybe up to 1 minute long, and maybe 2 or 3 sets each on specifically some tight areas. Then you can repeat for a few sets, and make sure you're doing that a few times a week at least, or up to every day. I'm currently in a really good routine of doing stretches in the morning when I wake up, and it's really revolutionizing my body and helping my recovery, and I'm feeling a lot better. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I've been going through a really busy time in my life at the moment, creating content for my Crockford app, which has meant that I've been taken away from creating content for YouTube and Instagram and stuff, but there is a lot more coming now that my time has been freed up. So give it a like, please subscribe, and there's plenty more coming. See you later.